friends, welcome back to Health Hacks. I'm Tara.
And I'm Dr. Jeni, and in today's episode, it's for every woman who's ever wondered, am I just tired or is there something deeper going on with my hormones?
You're not alone if you're feeling off. Foggy brain, stubborn weight, mood swings, weird cycles. This episode will give you real answers and simple health hacks that you can use right away.
We're going to dig into hormone imbalances from a functional medicine lens. We're going to break it down in a way that's smart but not boring. And if you're 35 and up, this one is especially for you. So let's talk physiology for a minute. When a woman hits mid-30s to 40s, their estrogen and progesterone shifts, they're a natural thing that happen. But they're happening even earlier now than they have historically. And that's because stress, toxins, blood sugar imbalances, and nutrient deficiencies. Those things just seem to be getting worse and worse. So we're seeing things that maybe weren't such a problem or weren't happening until later. We're just seeing them happen earlier.
Yes, and if you've ever been told your labs are normal, but you don't feel normal, this is your body's signal that it's time to listen and that something is not right. And that's what we do here at Thrive. We dig deeper, we look at labs, and we help you find the root cause of what's going on.
Right. So, for example, did you know that high cortisol, which is labeled the quote-unquote stress hormone, can actually block progesterone? So, progesterone is the balance hormone to estrogen. It's like if you have a weighted scale and you want these things to be in a perfect balance. So if you're lacking in progesterone, that makes estrogen potentially feel heavy and high. So it makes PMS worse. It can mess with your sleep and your weight gain. Now, think about sleep and progesterone. If you've ever had a baby, you have a lot of progesterone when you're pregnant. And you know that thing, sleep like a baby? Well, when you're pregnant, it's what gives you that, progesterone is what gives you that luscious head of hair and makes you chill out and sleep. So not having enough progesterone a little bit later, that can make you just wired and not sleep right and your hair thin and all kinds of bad things.
Yeah, and another thing that we see here in our clinic is blood sugar swings, and this can impact you, not just insulin, but also there's a cycle between your estrogen and your cortisol and your hormones. They're all in this balance that they're trying to play, and that's why we recommend testing and not guessing.
Yeah.
And so there is some research that we've done on this, and according to the 2021 study published in the Endocrine Reviews, insulin resistance is directly tied to lower progesterone in women over 35, which that explains that fatigue and mood instability that you get from having blood sugar swings.
Absolutely. Another note on progesterone and age 35. So at age 35, both your estrogen and your progesterone levels start to make, it's like a plane landing, right? Down to menopause. I know that sounds early, but it doesn't happen overnight. It takes years. So you've got these hormones that just naturally start to decline at age 35. And your progesterone declines much faster than your estrogen, making it feel like a gap, or like you have more estrogen or estrogen dominant, so to speak. So already that is a thing. That is the reason why if you're 35 and over and you're trying to have a baby, a lot of people end up needing progesterone support. I know I had 2 babies after 35, and I needed progesterone support both times to maintain pregnancy. I had 2 miscarriages earlier before I figured that out. And so that's just a nugget that if I can help, if we can have a conversation and one person doesn't have a miscarriage because they know that progesterone needs to be tested and potentially supplemented, then praise God, because who wants a miscarriage? They're so sad. And so anyway, just a little side note about that.
Yeah.
But this explains why cookie cutters don't work. It's not a one-size-fits-all. And you can't out-supplement a lifestyle that's out of balance. So,
yes, so good.
Right? You have to understand the physiology behind it, do everything you can to improve that physiology, and then you supplement if and when strategically you need it, when you maybe
based on labs.
Yes, there's a time and a place for everything, but you shouldn't do it symptomatically. You should say, what can I really get to the root cause of and fix with my lifestyle and my diet?
Well, speaking of which, why don't we give them some health hacks and some daily practices that you can start out with today?
Okay, let's start out with health hack number 1. Honor your sleep window. Get your booty to bed by 10 o'clock because your cortisol is the lowest and your melatonin, that's the sleep hormone, that is going to peak between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. And that's when your body actually repairs itself. You get the deepest and most restorative sleep between 10 and 2. If you are serious about healing your body, you got to be in bed by 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Absolutely. And another tip that we love to give is just that fiber first at breakfast. So eating a good breakfast, and instead of jumping straight into carbs, the standard American diet, pancakes and syrup, maybe some Pop-Tarts or cereal, those aren't what's going to help your cortisol, your insulin. And so try a high fiber breakfast. So maybe try some sauteed eggs with vegetables, or maybe some chia seed pudding. There's a lot of suggestions that we like to give here for breakfast, and it helps with balancing insulin, which keeps your hormones happy.
Yeah, and if I could just piggyback on fiber at breakfast, don't forget the protein either.
Yeah,
most women, especially when you hit 35, that's when you start to lose muscle and bone density, and so you really have to prioritize protein. For so many reasons, it's going to make you feel better. So 25 or 30 grams minimum at breakfast is going to be a great goal for that. And then we'll just move right into the health hack number 3 we have is short morning movement. So for most people, an hour at the gym first thing in the morning, maybe that just won't work. If that's you and it works for you, great, go get it. We love it. But even just 10 minutes, take a walk, do a weight circuit, because it gets you going. It starts to raise some cortisol, which is good in the morning because it gets you moving. It boosts your dopamine and helps with estrogen metabolism, and without raising your cortisol too high. Now, if you go out and run a marathon in the morning, you might stretch your body out, and there's a happy medium, right? You want to do something, but you just don't want to kill yourself in the morning either.
Yeah, start small and work your way up.
That's right.
Well, Dr. Jeni, why don't we talk about some of our favorite supplements that we love to use?
Awesome, because everybody wants a quick supplement that's going to fix their hormone imbalance or whatever. So if you just understand the physiology that once you hit 35, your estrogen starts to decline, your progesterone starts to make a dip, and those kinds of things. And then if you just fast forward a little farther in the process, closer to actually stopping the cycle, like a menopause, one of the things that people complain about and struggle with is hot flashes.
Yes.
Oh my. And you know what? We'll be totally transparent on this podcast. I am postmenopausal. So I've been through this. It's one thing, and that drives me nuts when I hear a 25-year-old girl talking about menopause or some man, and it's you don't know what it's like. You haven't been there. I've been there. And these are things that not only do we talk about and use in practice, this is what I have done, because hot flashes suck.
I mean, by the fan, and then you're cold.
Head in the freezer.
Which way do we go?
I mean, seriously, I've done it because it's hard. And I was doing all of the things to stop the hot flashes. Blood sugar balance is huge, and adrenals. So if you don't know this, your adrenal system backs up your ovaries as you transition into menopause.
Right.
So if you're adrenally compromised and stressed out, and the adrenals aren't right, it makes menopause bumpier. That's probably another topic for another day. I feel like that we could spend an hour on adrenals and menopause.
Absolutely.
But one of the things that I noticed is I needed some support for estrogen, and I wasn't crazy about bioidenticals or synthetic hormones.
Right.
There's a time and a place, and if someone needs that, we'd love to have that conversation, because we want what's best for the patient.
Right.
Maybe a case where someone's had a radical hysterectomy and everything's been removed.
Right.
But that's a different situation. That wasn't me. And so I really wanted to be as natural as I could. So there are some plant-based, they're called phytoestrogens.
Mm-hmm.
They're plant-based estrogens that we have a number of different supplements, and I used one of them. The one I used was called Estrovite by Apex Energetics. It's a great company. We use a lot of their stuff. And what it does is it gently helps you lift up your estrogen, because that's what you're having, the hot flashes when your estrogen, as it's bottoming out, when it's making this transition from you used to have great amounts of estrogen to now you're landing the plane and there is none left after menopause, really. And so
that transition.
Yeah, and there's some different, we use different products with different people. It's not, it's not always one size fits all, but
based off of labs.
Like I ran my labs, I studied some stuff on myself, and that's the one I landed on. But things that are especially designed to support estrogen metabolism. You can use these things in females and males. They're not, what they are not is a synthetic hormone. They're just a help to your body to help you. So, things with black cohosh, Dong Quai, B vitamins, because B vitamins, again, are really helpful for the adrenals. When you're adrenally compromised, you end up low on B vitamins a lot of times. So we use these things a lot. In perimenopause is the rockiest time because your body's like all over the place. Like 1 month you have a fine amount of estrogen, and the next month you don't make any, and you ovulate 1 month and then you don't, and it's just this wild ride. And that's what once you really land the plane in menopause, it's a lot more stable. And I've noticed that for myself. Like now that I'm done, there's not as much bumpy. I feel settled. So
a little supplement just to help if needed. But we really just wanted to let you all know that if you're feeling overwhelmed by all the changes in your body, you're not broken. And your body is asking you to listen. And so we hope that you get a lot of hope from the health hacks that we had today.
You're not crazy, and it's not, quote unquote, just aging. I feel like menopause is an area where the medical community has completely dropped the ball. There was some baloney study done 20 years ago that says hormones for women give you breast cancer. And if you go back and listen to that there's an interview with the lady that did that study on Peter Attia's podcast. It's called The Drive, and it's worth a listen. It is so good. And she talks about how that study has been a disaster for women getting help with their hormones. So anyway, you're not crazy. Most women need some guidance and some help. But there's what we're trying to give is like there's hope. This is not a death sentence when you start to have perimenopause and menopause. It's a natural progression. God made our bodies to do this. We just need to maybe have a little guidance and some things we can do to support ourselves.
And we see it all the time in our practice. Women that are reclaiming their energy and their mood and their joy, and it's just such a joy to be a part of the process.
Absolutely. We just believe healing is possible, both mind, body, spirit. That's why we do what we do. We believe that God created the human body to heal. Sometimes it just needs to be given the right tools.
Well, if this episode spoke to you today, share it with a friend. We can also schedule a free consultation with us here in the office or online. And so you can go to thrivecfh.com and click the Book Now button. But we're just excited to be able to share this information. Hopefully we cast a lot of hope and a lot of health hacks that they can just start right away.
Absolutely. I'll drop a link in the description too. If you're watching this podcast, we'll put a link in the description if you want to talk to us. We are happy to talk to someone that's like, hey, is this process for me? What can you test my hormones? What does it look like? We'll answer all those questions. I'll just drop a link in the description for that.
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, next week we're going to be talking about the real story behind fatigue and thyroid issues, so don't miss out on that. And until next time, stay well and be rooted in truth and health.